So pleasant about that place. Even your emotion had an echo in so much space. When you out there without care, I was out of tune. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice. That's my only advice. Oh, who do you think you are? Oh, bless your soul. You think you're in control? I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like me. Hey, everybody, it's a beautiful Friday morning. And as I always say to you, as is my custom, I tell you, the older you get, the faster these days go by. I mean, I can remember when I was a teenager, to move from Monday to Friday, it was like an eternity. It was like waiting for the second coming. It was like being stuck in between limbo and purgatory. You just didn't know if you were going to make it through the week. Now, at my age, honey, you blink once. It's Friday one moment and it's Monday the next. Go figure. Well, you know what it is, and I know I've shared this with you before. Somebody said to me, it's in fact, I tell you who said this to me. I was story time. I was at a barbershop. You know, I go to the same barbershop I've been going to for the past 20 years. Because, you know, with barbers, they do you can't help but keep the same barber. I'm reminded of the story of when Barack Obama was first elected as president. You know, Barack was from Chicago. When he moved to Washington after being elected as president, he literally had to take his barber with him. I mean, literally. He unplanted his barber and rerouted him in Washington, D.C. For the 10 years that he served as president, the barber lived in Washington with Barack Obama. So I was sitting at a barbershop that I've been going to for 20 plus odd years, and I was sitting next to Saquiba Sikota, you know, the famous lawyer. He's a friend of mine, and, you know, we go to the same church. And we're sitting next to one another, and I start sharing with him this phenomenon that, you know, time just goes by so fast. He turns to me and says, well, there's a reason for that. You know, I said, well, what's the reason? He says, it's because when you get to our age, you realize you don't have that much time left. So you savor every moment, and time seems to go by so fast because you realize you don't have that much more time left. It's a circle of life, brother. That's all it is. It's the circle of life. Okay. A few shout outs to you. I know earlier I saw my dear friend Bo Allen and Joseph. There she is right there. Bo. Everybody say hello to Bo Allen. and my dear friend Joseph Chishimba from Solihull, England. These are people that are, and I'm so grateful for their support. And as I am with the rest of you, thank you, all of you, for taking the time to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV, my dear friends, my precious people. Ms. Damuero, good morning to you. What's the title of the song? I keep wanting to do this. You know, the original song was done by CeeLo Green. In Zambia, we don't say CeeLo Green, we say Gelo. You know, like Gelo wana jingwala. You know, the word Gelo in Tonga means ghost. It means apparition. It's like a phantom, for goodness sake. Okay? But over there in America, they don't say Gelo. They say CeeLo. CeeLo Green is the one that originally sang the song. But this rendition that I play for you now, I need to find out. I picked it up from TikTok or somewhere, and I got the audio file, threw it on there, and I'm using my Rodecaster Pro to sort of feed it into this stream. But I need to find out the title. People keep asking me this, and I really need to do the right thing to give you the right title of the song. But the original singer of that song was CeeLo Green. And I know you know that. Okay, guys, real quick, let's talk about it. Before I talk about what I'm about to talk about, I noticed this morning in the paper, this Chilufya Tayali has written a letter to the Secretary to the Cabinet, and he has demanded that the government withdraws the presidential benefits that sixth and former President Lungu currently receives if the former president doesn't clearly declare whether or not he's going to make a return to active politics. Now, this to me is a clear case of skullduggery. This is a guy, now remember, Chilufya, from the very beginning, I explained to you that I never liked the fact that Walungu allowed Tayali to become so close to him. I always had misgivings about that. I never did like that whole thing where Walungu gave Tayali unfettered access to Walungu's home. One of the most cringeworthy moments was watching a videotape of Tayali standing with sixth and former President Lungu, and Tayali explaining to the sixth and former President Lungu what lying means and how he called HH a habitual pathological liar. And he's explaining this to Walungu. And Walungu, former President Lungu was standing there doing this, listening to Tayali, listening to a registered sex offender, listening to a rapist, listening to a political despot, listening to a bottom feeder, listening to a narcissistic nuisance. And I thought to myself, why would the former president allow himself and his conclave to allow this joker into their circles? I came on here and I told you, I said, I don't like that. I would prefer that former President Lungu distances himself from Tayali and people like Tayali. And we're talking about Chilufya Tayali. Well, the tables have turned. Tayali now is singing like a canary. The same man that vehemently, and that's the word that is befitting, the same man that vehemently supported, rallied behind sixth and former President Lungu is the same man today that's using the same platform to discredit, to disdain, to speak disparagingly of, to push back against Edgar Lungu. And I called it. I told you, this guy is not to be trusted. The worst enemy that you can ever have is the enemy that pretends to be your friend. Oh, that's a good one there, boy. Oh, I can handle an enemy who is known to me as an enemy. I can handle that. But the worst betrayal, the worst form of skullduggery, is a man that pretends to be your friend when in actuality, he is your worst enemy. You know, the old adage says, never embrace a man who at one time tried to destroy you. Because when a snake sheds its skin, it only does so to become a bigger snake. So here it is today. I mean, Tayali's changed his tune. For weeks and months, all he ever said was dikiteta, dikiteta. Echi is a dikiteta, dikiteta, dikiteta. Abukaret dikiteta. When he knows good and hell well, there is not a dictatorial bone in HH's body. All you can say is that his style of governance is different from yours. And the only reason you're upset about that is that he's the president and you're not. But for you to suggest, for you to imply that this man is a dictator, do you even know what a dictator is? Can you stomach a dictator? If in fact HH was a dictator, you think you guys can even be doing what you're doing? We've never had a dictator in this nation as defined, as in the strictest form of its definition. We've had presidents that have been heavy-handed at times, not dictators. Do you know what a dictator is? Idi Amin was a dictator. Adolf Hitler was a dictator. Pol Pot over there in Cambodia, he was a dictator. The guy that used to run Haiti, Papa Doc, dictators, people that were demon-induced, people that were hell-strung on destroying their own people by any means necessary. Those were dictators. And so you are being disingenuous. You are being dishonest. You are being less than genuine when you say HH is a dictator, when all you mean is he has a different style of governance. That's all it is. So here it is. You know, Tayali, he now, because now he's in big trouble. You know, it's like this other guy, the gay guy, the guy with the hair. What's his name? Tell me in the comments. Recently, he was on social media cussing up a storm, acting crazy, like he's lost his mind. Well, the police fianted him because the police told him, hey, listen, man, you're not using social media for what it's supposed to be used for. You can't switch on your camera. You can't switch on your phone and cuss everybody out and think there are no consequences. Kuti iwe tizakufianta. Baya mukaka, bamuposa muchifungo, didi afuma. Brother starts singing like a canary. Yo ndero mba mkwai, akateka mwira batuka, ichalo chino, chaba shani na shani, mwira tuko buteko, ndero mba mkwai, ababantu aba, chirire. You idiot. We told you that from the beginning. What, did it take the police to arrest you to come to that realization? Did it take the police to throw you under the jail for you to understand and realize that you were abusing this medium called social media? So it took an arrest for you to see the light. It took an arrest for you to see the curtain that's pulled back and the light of knowledge and realization bursts into the room and enlightens your eyes. Is that what it takes? It doesn't have to always take that. So here it is now. He's changed his tune. Now, the sad fact about that is you can't, the word of God says, can a leopard change its spots? Can an Ethiopian change the color of his skin? The answer is no. These kids, in 8, whether wa mukaka ta umukakire, insele shifumafia. It takes an act of God, the change of heart, for a person to truly change. You can't legislate morality. It has to come from up in here. So if he doesn't feel it here, now apologize with you. Just give him 2 weeks. He'll go back to his old ways. What's his name? The guy with the goatee. The guy, he's such a loudmouth. The guy spews so much nonsense, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. Okay? All right, so Tayali has done this thing, and I'm not surprised. This is all political convenience that, you know, he used to be anti-HH, now he's pro-HH. He used to be pro-Lungu, now he's anti-Lungu. He's such a joker. A joker, I tell you. Anyway. All right, let me get a couple of comments from you on that. Somebody's watching us from Sunda Station. Where is Sunda Station? Please educate me. Please educate me. Huh? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ngapari bomuntu aba confused niyo. Uyu muntu that. Confused. He doesn't even know whether he's coming, going. He doesn't know whether he wants to get up or leave. He has no idea if he wants to drink or choke. He's a joker. It doesn't, even if he does all these things, even if he says, you know, everything for him is about money. It's about convenience. It's about, because he's gotten to the end of his rope. He's standing on the precipice of disaster. He knows he's in trouble. The man's been picked. The man's in trouble. Because he's in trouble, he's changed his tune. Even if he does all of that, it doesn't negate the fact that he's in trouble. It doesn't negate the fact that the blood of Nsaman Sama's blood is on Tayali's hands. Still, and I will never stop saying that. Never. Stick that in your pipe and you smoke it. It's real. You should say something. Okay. All righty. Let's get into it. I just wanted to talk about this for a few minutes. Sextortion on university campuses. Now, I know Mwebantu Facebook page has misused the word sextortion. What Mwebantu is describing there is sexual harassment, not sextortion. There's a big difference between sexual harassment and sextortion. Let's be clear. Let me define this for you. Sextortion or sexual extortion is a form of blackmail when someone threatens to share a nude or sexual image or video of you unless you pay them or give into their demands. That's sextortion. The word sextortion, the amalgamated word sextortion, comes from the words sexual extortion. Mwebantu Facebook page has said a CBU lecturer has been arrested for sextortion. That's not correct. Sextortion means you tell a girl, let's go and let's have sex, but let's record it. So you pull out your phone or your camera, you start having sex on video. And then later on, one of you, either the man or the woman, takes the image, sends it to you and says, this was you and I having sex 2 weeks ago. I will publish this video unless you give me money. That's sextortion. I will publish this video unless you have sex with me again. That's sextortion. Sexual harassment is in a workplace, or a university setting where a lecturer, in this case, a lecturer says to a student, if you want to pass your exams, all you have to do is have sex with me. That's sexual harassment. It's not sextortion. Okay, let's be clear about that. You have to know what these terms are, because if you don't define them correctly, you get lost in translation, mate. You do. And I'll never forget the case, a very famous case. Some of you remember there's a girl she was on social media. This is a very sad story, but this is the world we live in. This is this is the debauchery of human nature. Okay. It's wrong. It shouldn't happen, but it does happen. A very famous case. And if I were to call her name, you would know exactly who I'm talking about. She was embroiled in some sexual act, and her video was splashed on screen. And she was subsequently arrested. Now, the officer that was dealing with her case, now this is Zambia, guys. It happens all over the world, but I'm telling you, it happened here. The officer that was assigned to deal with that case, because the case went to court and, it was going to go to court. Sorry, it was going to go to court. It didn't go to court. It was going to go to court. Okay, now hear me. Listen to me carefully. The case didn't go to court. It was going to go to court. But the officer that was assigned to deal with that case told the girl, said, look, I can make this whole thing go away. I don't have to push your case to court. You're in trouble. Yes, the media knows, the public knows that you're in trouble. But you and I can work this thing out to where I can quietly just push this thing away. We could come to some type of agreement. So the girl says, well, what do you want? She says, he says, you know what I want. She gave in. She said, I didn't want to go to jail. So I let him have sex with me. I didn't want to go to jail. That is sextortion, because the guy had the evidence. Someone that it's either you get money or you meet the demand. It reminds me of that very famous, and women are very vulnerable when it comes to this sort of thing. It reminds me of the color purple. Remember, Oprah Winfrey's character said something very interesting. He said that a girl ain't safe in a world full of men's, MENS. A girl ain't safe in a world full of men's. So my admonition to you university students when it comes to this sort of thing, of course, there are cases where female students sleep with powerful men or men from the higher echelons of society. The guy has no idea that he's being recorded. The girl sends him part of the video and says, hey, man, I've got this stuff on you. And if you don't send me $30,000 now, the whole world's going to know. And guess what? Your wife's going to lose her mind. That is sextortion. And that happens. My admonition to young people is, if you're going to do that, which you shouldn't be doing that, but if you're going to get intimate with someone, don't record it. Don't do that. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. But if you are going to do that, don't record stuff. It's never a good thing. It always ends in tears. Boom. All right. I've spoken enough. 24 minutes. Okay. So that means he had something on her after something had happened between them, and he needed more, and she refused, and he came for her, and now she came out. Yo, I have no idea what you're saying. I don't know what that is. Somebody's watching us from Kafue. Well, hey guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Bless you. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.